In the next few minutes, I will speak about the Greiner model. The Greiner model describes the stages organizations go through as they grow. Larry Greiner, a professor of management at the University of Southern California, developed the model in 1972. The model divides the life of organizations into 5 stages of growth interrupted by periods of crisis. Each stage has a distinct driver propelling the growth of the organization until it exhausts, and further growth without transformation becomes impossible. Periods of crisis signal the exhaustion of the current factors of growth. Organizations can use insights from the model to understand change and to optimize their project portfolio for growth. Let's review the model first and get to optimizing the project portfolio at the end of the video. The model predicts organizations grow and mature in 5 stages. The first stage, characteristic of young organizations, is growth through creativity. Founders create the organization, for example, a business startup, to bring an idea to life. This is a plastic, often chaotic phase. Founders and maybe a few employees work on refining ideas into marketable products or services. They pay less attention to developing the organization. They are eager to test ideas instead. The organization has no internal structure. People work in informal groups. Teams are still in the making. Communication is intensive and informal. Hierarchy is absent or very flat. Typical businesses in this phase are family businesses or startups run by the founders. They have up to 30 employees, and they are in the first 3 years. Creativity is motivating, but the organization must produce results to survive. Without decisions, ideas will never turn into products. To deliver to customers, some members must replace creativity with making products or providing services. Efficiency and survival in the long run requires scale. The focus should shift from free-flowing creativity to a combination of creativity and discipline, creativity and direction. This is a crisis of leadership. In a creative group of peers, someone must take the responsibility for providing direction. This is a turbulent crisis period. Even if a single founder has unquestionable merit and professional authority, conflicts are inevitable. Decisions also mean that the team will not pursue some ideas any longer. The members who join the organization for the creative work and informal atmosphere may feel disappointed. The crisis of leadership ends with the emergence of management structures. As companies grow, some patterns in the division of labor solidify and roles in the organization take shape. Founders hire managers to free up time for strategic thinking and planning. They relinquish some control through establishing processes and structure. Units appear in the organization and the company culture emerges. This stage is marked by new managers being hired, managers making decisions together, and the start of formal processes. Another result of this phase is founders accepting that they may no longer zigzag with creativity. They need to provide clear direction through structures and processes. Typical businesses at this stage are maturing SMEs or firms scaling up. They are between the 3rd and 6th years of life, and their typical headcount is between 30 and 100 employees. As the organization grows further, joint consultative decision-making becomes an obstacle. Managers busy with overseeing processes in the units cannot find time to get together and discuss problems before they decide. As the span of control, the number of people reporting to them widens, managers can respond in 2 ways. They can delegate more, empowering their subordinates, or develop deeper structures adding intermediate management levels. Additional levels help them retain focus on direct reports, but they need to release direct control over most subordinates. In both cases, the key to growth is greater employee autonomy. Therefore, we call this stage a crisis of autonomy. The solution to the crisis of autonomy is delegation. As organizations expand, delegation becomes crucial. This is the period of growth through delegation. In this phase, managers empower their teams, allowing founders to focus on strategy. Delegation is not limited to assigning tasks. Clear delegation of responsibility is a key characteristic of successful organizations in this phase. Structured processes appear to facilitate delegation. Successful organizations strive for a balance between centralization and decentralization in this phase. This is the stage where decentralization begins and middle management emerges. Businesses at this stage are typically between 6 and 10 years old, with headcounts between 100 and 300 employees. Growth driven by delegation leads to deeper structures. Small units develop into large, isolated silos. Delegation facilitates work within the silos, but employees of different branches communicate through long chains of command. Leaders at the top of the organization become communication bottlenecks. Even within the silos, higher-level managers see less of daily operations and lose control over the units because of the growing number of management levels. To enable cross-functional cooperation while retaining control, formal work procedures and rules for cooperation emerge. These operational procedures help top management know what is happening in their organization by enabling cross-functional cooperation without direct daily involvement. Coordination and collaboration become the drivers of the next growth period as complexity increases. Cross-functional coordination and collaboration become essential for daily operation. Cross-functional teams work together following cross-functional procedures. Streamlining systems and processes is key to organization efficiency. Characteristics of this growth period are consolidation of formal structures, interdepartmental collaboration, and an emphasis on efficiency. This is the stage where businesses implement ERP systems and standardize their processes. They are in their 10th to 20th years and employ 300 to 3,000 people. As they mature, they emphasize teamwork, culture, and synergy. Formal procedures help to reconcile control and cross-functional cooperation, but as complexity grows, bureaucracy becomes a burden. The organization enters a crisis of red tape. Formal, all-encompassing processes make changes difficult. The fabric of interdependencies in a complex organization hinders further growth and development. New solutions require changes, but changes have a ripple effect throughout the organization because of interdependencies. Instead of internal growth, organizations in this stage turn outwards. They look for partners to avoid the need of increasing complexity through building internal solutions. Organizations deal with red tape by finding partners, making strategic deals, or buying other companies. The common theme is thinking in solution packages like black boxes where they need not spend energy on working out the details. They turn to solution providers or buy a company with a complete solution to integrate into their own structure. At this stage, innovation occurs beyond internal boundaries. Indicators of this stage are emerging strategic alliances and external growth strategies. Typical businesses at this stage are mature organizations that have been active for over 20 years. They often have more than 3,000 employees. A bird's-eye view of this growth process suggests a pattern of alternating periods of extensive growth and disruptive change. In growth periods, organizations keep doing more of the same. Growth is automatic, it occurs along best practices, Crises occur when the potential of a paradigm is exhausted. At these points, we need to find new paradigms, we need to develop new frameworks and best practices. The exponential growth reaches an inflection point and turns into an S-curve. The Greiner growth model also holds some lessons for project and portfolio management. In crisis periods, project portfolios swell. Exhaustion of their current growth drivers compels organizations to begin activities they do not regularly do. In other words, crises force organizations to think in projects. The crisis we go through determines the project we need. Drivers of the growth period we leave behind show our key resources. The current crisis shows what we lack. Drivers of the next growth period show what we need to develop in our projects. Remember, each growth phase ends with a crisis prompting necessary adaptation. Greiner's model helps organizations identify obstacles and navigate their growth journey.